What's up everyone, it's Moaz, and welcome back to Codemaster. We're talking all about leveling up your web dev skills today. Not just with theory, but with projects that make a real difference. Whether you're just starting out or you've already got some coding chops, trust me, the right project can completely transform your skill set. We're diving into the must-do projects for web developers at all levels, why they matter, and how to absolutely crush them. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about building a website from scratch. Think of this as your coding foundation: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are your building blocks, and there's no better way to master them than by actually using them to create something real. Don't worry, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. We're talking about starting simple, maybe a personal portfolio or a blog. What matters is that you're writing the code yourself, line by line. This is where you get to experiment with layouts, design elements, and how everything interacts. You'll learn how to structure content, style it to look amazing, and even add some cool interactive features with JavaScript. As you get more comfortable, you can start adding more complex elements, but the key is to start simple and build from there. Think about what kind of website you'd be excited to show off. Maybe it's a showcase of your photography, a blog about your favorite hobby, or even a simple online store. Plus, having a website you built yourself is a fantastic way to showcase your skills to potential employers. Now, when you're building a website from scratch, it's easy to get caught up in all the details, but here's a pro tip. Start with a basic structure and gradually add features. Focus on getting the core elements right: the layout, the design, the responsiveness, and then build from there. Embrace the challenges, don't be afraid to Google things, we all do it, and most importantly, have fun with it. Alright, so you've dipped your toes into the coding waters with your website. Now let's talk about diving headfirst into the world of open source. Trust me, this is where things get really interesting. Collaborate with other developers on real-world projects and learn from the best. Platforms like GitHub are your playground here. Think of GitHub as a massive library of code where developers build amazing things. You can find projects of all shapes and sizes. The best part? It's all open source, meaning the code is freely available. You might think you're not experienced enough, but open source thrives on contributions from all levels. There's always something you can help with. You'll interact with other developers and get feedback on your work. Plus, having open source contributions on your resume is a huge signal to employers. Find a project that aligns with your interests and start small. Okay, we've tackled websites and open source, now let's talk about mobile apps. These days, having mobile development skills is like having superpowers. Think about it. Almost everyone has a smartphone, and we're spending more and more time on apps. Learning to build them opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Now, you might be thinking, mobile app development? Isn't that super complicated? And it definitely can be, but the good news is there are frameworks like React Native and Flutter that make it way more approachable. These frameworks let you build cross-platform apps, meaning you can write the code once, and it'll work on both iOS and Android. How cool is that? When it comes to choosing a mobile app project, the sky's the limit. What are you passionate about? What problems do you see that you could solve with an app? Maybe you want to build a fitness tracker, a social media app, or even a game. The key is to choose something that excites you and motivates you to see it through. Building a mobile app from start to finish is a massive learning experience. You'll gain a deeper understanding of things like user interface design, user experience, back-end integration, and maybe even some data management. And let's not forget about the portfolio boost. Having a polished mobile app in your portfolio is a surefire way to impress potential employers. So don't shy away from the mobile world. Embrace the challenge, choose a project you're excited about, and get building. Now let's talk about why these projects are so crucial. First up, you'll learn new skills. We're not talking about passively watching tutorials. This is about getting your hands dirty, writing code, and figuring things out as you go. Each project will throw different challenges your way, from front-end design and responsiveness to back-end logic, database management, and maybe even some mobile app development. Think about building a website from scratch. You'll dive deep into HTML for structuring the content, CSS for styling it to look amazing, and JavaScript to make it interactive. Then there's open source. You'll get exposed to massive code bases, learn from experienced developers, and understand how to collaborate effectively on large-scale projects. And let's not forget about mobile app development. You'll master frameworks like React Native or Flutter, understand the nuances of mobile UI/UX, and learn how to build apps that people will actually want to use. The best part is these skills aren't just theoretical. They're directly applicable to real-world development jobs. Second, you'll build your portfolio. Look, having a bunch of theoretical knowledge is cool and all, but when it comes to landing a job, nothing beats a portfolio that screams, "I can build stuff." Think of your portfolio as your digital resume, but way more interesting. It's where you get to show, not just tell, potential employers what you're capable of. Instead of just listing HTML, CSS, JavaScript on your resume, you're presenting them with a website you built from the ground up, using those exact technologies. A strong portfolio is more than just a collection of projects. It's a narrative of your journey as a developer. It shows how you approach problems, your attention to detail, and your ability to bring ideas to life. Choose projects that excite you, experiment with different technologies, and don't be afraid to let your personality shine through. The more passionate you are about your work, the more it'll resonate with potential employers. As you learn new skills and complete more projects, keep updating it to reflect your growth as a developer. Third, you'll get noticed by potential employers. Let's be real for a second. The job market for developers is competitive. There are a lot of talented people out there vying for the same opportunities. So how do you stand out from the crowd? You guessed it, a killer portfolio packed with impressive projects. Think about it from an employer's perspective. They're looking for someone who can not only code but can also solve problems, think creatively, and bring value to their team. A strong portfolio with diverse projects ticks all those boxes. When an employer sees that you've taken the initiative to build things on your own, it tells them that you're passionate about coding, you're not afraid of challenges, and you're constantly learning and improving. These are the qualities that make a great developer, and they're definitely going to catch their attention. Tip 1. Choose projects that excite you. Now let's shift gears and talk about some tips for actually tackling these projects. First things first, choose a project that genuinely interests you. Trust me, this is crucial. You're going to be spending a lot of time, energy, and brain power on this, so it might as well be something you're excited about. Passion fuels motivation. When you're genuinely interested in what you're building, the challenges become less daunting, the late nights become more bearable, and the sense of accomplishment when you finally finish is that much sweeter. Think about your hobbies, your interests, or even problems you encounter in your daily life that you think you could solve with technology. The more excited you are about the project, the more likely you are to see it through to completion. Tip 2, break it down. Okay, you've got your awesome project idea, but now you're staring at a blank code editor feeling completely overwhelmed. Don't worry, we've all been there. Large projects can feel incredibly daunting, like trying to climb Mount Everest in one go. The key is to break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. Think of it like planning a road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving without a map or a destination, right? You'd plan your route, identify key milestones along the way, and maybe even schedule in some pit stops. Building a project is no different. Start by defining the core features of your project. This approach not only makes the project feel less overwhelming, but also gives you a sense of accomplishment as you check off each task. Tip 3, don't be afraid to ask for help. Here's the thing about coding. No one knows everything. Even the most experienced developers run into roadblocks, encounter weird bugs, or just need a fresh perspective on a problem. The key is to remember that you're not alone in this journey. There's a massive community of developers out there who have probably faced similar challenges and are more than willing to help. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's a technical question about a specific piece of code, a design dilemma, or even just needing some motivation to keep going, the online developer community is an incredible resource. Platforms like Stack Overflow, Reddit, and GitHub discussions are gold mines of information. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. In conclusion, must-do projects are a great way to improve your web development skills and build a portfolio that will impress potential employers. They provide hands-on experience, teach you new skills, and demonstrate your ability to complete real-world projects. A strong portfolio with diverse projects shows potential employers that you're capable, versatile, and ready to tackle new challenges. So what are you waiting for? Start on your next must-do project today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Codemaster for more web development tips and tutorials. See you next time.